Here we've got our customer support survey, and so far any sort of personalization or customization of data, all we've got is in the sort of the header, we've got the first name. So we've got first name, please let us know about your recent interaction with our support team. But what about being able to add more than just a first name and a last name? So if we go back here, we'll see that we've got personalize and we've got those two by default, those two fields are in there. How about instead of just saying you recently had a support case that was resolved, how about actually putting in the case number and the case title? And then please rate the support rep. How about we put the support rep's name in there, the person that actually closed the case? So we can do that by coming over here to the ellipsis, the three dots over here, and we can click on personalize. Now we can see there these piping variables to be able to personalize the data that's in the survey. We've got an option to add to that. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll put in the case number, we'll put in the case title, and we'll put in the case owner. Now, all we're doing at the minute is we're just defining what those piping variables are. Obviously, we're not pulling that data from anywhere just yet. So now if I come up to the, back over to the survey, and where I've got you recently had a support case, I'm going to go ahead and put in, if I now click on the personalization drop down, you'll see those three new items that I've just added. So I'm going to do case number and then hyphen, and then I'm going to do case title and just close that out. And then if I scroll down to the next one, instead of just support rep, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put in case owner. So now that I've defined on the survey where those two things or those three items are going to go, when we go back and we're going to modify our flow and we're going to go ahead and set where those variables are going to come from, they will be populated in these spaces on the survey. Alright, so now we've got our survey sorted, it's saved it automatically. If I go back to send survey, or if I go to this area, this is where in a previous video we've configured our flow. And you'll see there I've got one flow configured, so I want to actually go back to that specific flow. We can see here, there's the flow. I'm going to go ahead and click on the edit and it will open it up in Microsoft Flow for me. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit the flow. And we can see here we've got our flow, so when a record's updated and the record that is updated is a case, if the status of the case is resolved, then let's go ahead and check to see if it's an account, or if it's not, then it's a contact. And what we're going to do is we're then going to go ahead and we're going to set the values and pull in the case title, the case number, and the case owner. Alright, so if I go ahead and do show advanced options, I'm just going to do it for the contact for now, but obviously you might want to change it for however your flow is set up, you want to go ahead and modify it. Now we can see here, case number, case title, case owner, those did not exist before. As soon as we've put those in for personalizing the data, we can see that information there. Now the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and look for the case number. And the case number is being pulled from that first initial trigger of when a record is updated. So I've got the case number, I want to put that in that field. Oh. And then case title as well. Okay, so those two fields, that's pretty straightforward because those two fields we're basically getting from this when a record is updated trigger. So because we're looking at the entity name or we're looking at cases, essentially those fields, those values are available for us to pull automatically into the flow. However, what we need to do is we need to be able to get the name of the person that owned the case. If I just go down here and I pull in the owner from the initial step of that record, what that's going to do is it's just going to show the GUID, so it's going to show that long string of letters and numbers, and obviously that's really of no use to anyone. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add in another action, and what we need to do is we need to get the user so that we can pull the user's name based on the owner of that. Well, that's not what I want to do. let's go ahead. Okay, perfect. So we want the common data service, and we're going to get a record. And I'm going to, rather than having this as get record 3, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to rename this, and I'm going to do get case owner. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select my environment. The entity that I want is, I basically want to get the user, and the user is based on the owner of the case. So let's go ahead and it's users in here. And the identifier for the record is the owner of the case. Okay, so when a record is updated, the owner, that's what I'm using to basically be able to get access to the fields from the user entity. So now if I just minimize that and I come down here and go into the case owner, notice now that that step that I've just added, that get case owner, if I look through, we can see that we've got the full name of the user. So I'm going to add that in there instead. Okay, so now we can see we've got those 3 new fields that we set up for personalization purposes. They immediately will show in this specific action step of the flow, and we can go ahead and populate those with the values that we need from either the case or from that user entity based on the case owner. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to go ahead and I'll close out a case, and then I will come back to the video to show you what happened. Alright, so now I've got the email that's come through after the case was closed, and I've got the customized email again with the person's name. If I click to start the survey and we load up the survey, here we can see you recently had a support case with the case number and the case title, and please rate the support rep, Megan Walker, who assisted you. So hopefully this makes it a little bit easier to see how to go ahead and personalize these surveys a little bit further than just putting in the first name or the last name. And you can see how you can truly customize a survey so that the person responding to it knows exactly what they're responding to, what the purpose is, and what it relates to. Hi, I'm Megan Walker. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you learned something from it. If you don't want to miss out on any other content, you can go ahead and click on my face below to subscribe. And if you want to watch the next video, you can do that by clicking over here and go ahead and get started. Thanks again.